Welcome everybody to USL Championship action on Friday night at MSU Soccer Park. The sun is setting, but a perfect day for soccer as New York Red Bulls 2 host the Charleston Battery for the first time. These two teams will face off this year, but the first in a month of action. David Goss and Connor Lade with you. And Connor, when you look at this game for Red Bulls 2, coming off a dramatic man-down win midweek against Atlanta United 2, this now closing out a 4-game home stretch feels like a big opportunity to put up back-to-back wins.
Another must-win tonight for New York Red Bull 2. Showed so much heart and grit to work themselves back into that match to get the win, a man down against Atlanta United 2. It's going to be a big test here tonight against the Charleston Battery.
And when you look at the Charleston Battery and you talk about that test, you look up top at Augie Williams, the goal-scoring phenom from Sierra Leone.
Yeah, Augie Williams has been absolutely on fire this year. Not a lot has been, not a lot of highlights this year for Charleston, but he has been an extremely big bright spot. So dangerous in the box. Any loose ball is going right to his foot. He positioned himself so well in front of goal, just like any good striker does, and he is going to cause fits for this New York Red Bull 2 defense tonight.
And on the flip side, that defense is led by Avante Mullings at right back, and we're starting to see him find his feet in the attack.
Avante Mullings has been fantastic. Such a good showing last game against Atlanta United 2, getting his first career goal. Look at this, shaping the box, finishing, giving his team a huge, massive 3 points, and great celebration after. As you can see, first professional goal. You'll always remember the first one, Dave.
The 5th latest winner in New York Red Bulls 2 history in this game against Atlanta United 2. As we said, down a man after the red card to Michael Knapp. So New York Red Bulls 2 try and make it 2 wins in a row to close out this 4-game homestand. We've got all your action coming up in just a moment here on ESPN+.
Something make you shake it.
In 2020, in the very beginning, we had people banging pots and pans outside. This time around, I've had people spit at me. I've had people scream at me.
People just don't understand it unless you're there.
I come into work just wanting to help my patients.
We are building our team back again, and we are building it back stronger and stronger.
You really love what you do, so you stick to it.
Raffanello with the shot now, and New York Red Bulls 2 take the lead. Forbes one-on-one with Marcucci, and it's saved again.
This guy has ice in his veins.
And it's in. What a finish. The teenager in front of his academy teammates. You know it's a Friday night in New Jersey when you hear the sizzle of Connor Lade and David Goss. Just, grilling in the sun, hanging out, getting our tans on, getting ready for what is going to be a phenomenal game of soccer between two teams. There's a little bit of grit on the field here for this one as well. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. The big name that pops out first, you see number 27, Avion Flanagan, his first game since coming over from FC Cincinnati too.
And then if you look at the back line, Dave, 2 new additions. Preston Kilwine and Archer out of the lineup tonight, which means Pat Hogan and Matt Sheldon will come in to join A.J. Patterson on this back line, looking for a big clean sheet on the night.
On the flip side for New York Red Bulls, too, some forced changes with the red card to Michael Knapp, but Hassan Ndam back in the team, which is great to see, and some other talent in midfield as well.
Yeah, Steven Serwada has been fantastic, provided such a big spark. I believe it's 1 goal or 2 goals and an assist in the past 3 games. The kid has been on fire, and he's looking to continue that streak here tonight.
So New York Red Bulls, too, led by Ibrahim Sakaya, the interim manager, getting the big win midweek. Down a man against Atlanta United, too. He's facing off against a former teammate here, Conor Casey, the head coach, Chris Duval, who we'll see in a moment, the assistant coach, and Conor Casey, of course, the Colorado Rapids USM&T legend in his first season with the team. Eliho Arigin, our head official for this one. New York Red Bulls, too. The black kits, white shorts, lined up for kickoff like an NFL squad here at MSU Soccer Park. As our referee now forces them to retake it. Charleston Battery, and they're all white kits going left to right, and New York Red Bulls, too, kick it off. De Leon goes long from the kickoff. And it'll be brought down and knocked around the back line for this Charleston Battery side as the offside flag goes up. Hugo Fourroux, the goalkeeper in this one for the Charleston Battery, trading spots with Joe Kuzminski throughout the season. It's a little kickoff play there, Connor. Always your favorite?
I was very interested as what was going on there, as Hassan Ndam was at midfield looking ready to sprint into the back line, but I guess I don't know if there was an audible called there, Dave, if we're keeping football terms going.
Adebayo Smith with the early cross. It bounces all the way through. Ofori coming onto it. And Harmon will be able to clear it up the line. Early action here in the attack for New York Red Bulls, too. Ofori turns upfield. Wiki Carmona slides it over to Serwada. Castellano now. Back into Clark. Now Carmona. Adebayo Smith for Avante Mullings. Mullings' cross is blocked, and it'll be a corner kick.
Another game, another fast start for New York Red Bull 2. Jordan Adebayo Smith provided a beautiful ball in the first sequence and beautiful combination play there to give them another opportunity. Caden Clark laying it off to Wiki Carmona, who finds Adebayo Smith again, and Avante Mullings, where he's been so dangerous all year, getting into that final third, earning a corner kick here.
So the corner kick taken short. Carmona clips it in. Ndam can't get a touch. Harmon brings it down. Ofori's shot, and it's over the crossbar.
Steven Serwada doing what he does best, collecting second balls, sustaining attacks, leaves it there for Curtis Ofori. Drops down to his not preferred, I'd say, right foot and puts it over the bar, but good start here from New York.
Serwada, the opening goal in the comeback against Atlanta United 2. Mullings, the winning goal, his first of his professional soccer career. Is Nico Politis now. Will float it long, and kind of, I think, coming off that dramatic, energetic win late, you wanted to see an early start for this team, as now in on the attack is the Battery. And it will roll softly into the hands of Nico Politis.
Yeah, Apodaca got out on the run there. Looks like he was set up nicely for a shot in space. Ndam does well to close it down and didn't get a whole lot behind that.
De Leon with the header back. Just sneaks over the head of Harmon there, who now recovers it. Crawford dropping it back in the battle there as Sheldon gets forward for the ball. Williams, and the flag will go up as Williams will get the touch. I mentioned it off the top. The insertion into the starting lineup for Matt Sheldon, a Bellevue, Washington native. Did not start the last few games, but this his 20th start of the season. He's played most of his time, though, out wide, either as a right back or a right wing back. So a bit of a different role for him here.
Yeah, the loss of Archer, obviously a a big leader within this team as well, but I think this team's looking for a little bit of a change up here as well. 2 games in a row, conceding 4 goals is not what you want to see for Conor Casey, and so he's looking for some fresh legs in this back line, hoping to solidify things.
And you always want center backs that are comfortable on the ball when you play against Red Bull, and it makes sense to maybe convert someone for a game like this.
Absolutely. Yeah, especially against the press, and New York got out to a quick start, and obviously his recovery speed, he's a good athlete, so I think he lends himself to really play really well at that position.
Hogan and Patterson will be his partners in the back. A.J. Patterson's had a ton of success against New York Red Bulls too. Has scored and assisted against this Red Bull 2 side. Hogan pushes it up the line. Patterson clips it up the field. Endom bringing it down under pressure. As Flanagan puts that pressure on. Avion Flanagan, drafted out of South Florida by FC Cincinnati, has never appeared in an MLS game for FC Cincinnati. Was on contract with FC Cincinnati 2 this season before coming over to Charleston, making his debut in this game. A number of moves have been made here for the Battery midway through this season. As Harmon now trying to bounce by Fourroux. He does get by him, but the foul will go against DZ Harmon.
Yeah, DZ Harmon trying to power his way by Curtis Fourroux, but Curtis Fourroux does such a good job putting his body in the way, feels the contact, goes down. Curtis Fourroux looking to continue the great game that he had against Atlanta United 2. He was active, he was getting up and down, winning his duels, and so he looks like a man playing with confidence right now.
Nico Politis sends it long. Back in by Castellano. Clark trying to bring it down, poked away. And now Williams is in a foot race with Endom, and Serwada comes all the way back to recover.
Steven Serwada is everywhere. We've seen him in an advanced role.
Chasing now. Ball played in to the far post. Opportunity off the crossbar. And the second chance screwed wide. It was Charlie Asensio from left wing back who hit the woodwork.
What a fantastic ball played across the box. A teasing ball. Flanagan looked like he was going to get on it. Got tangled up with Mullings at the back post. But it drops to Asensio and just puts it right off the crossbar. But a great opportunity there from Charleston.
And we saw a week ago Reese Buckmaster in similar spaces, that early ball across the front of the goal. Very dangerous against New York Red Bulls too as well.
Absolutely, and you could see Avante Mullings doing his all to making sure that he was there with Flanagan, but he needs help at the back post as well. Obviously, in this, Charleston plays, a back 3 with wing backs as well, that, almost midfielders, so you got to always account for that guy at the back post, and that's been a weak point for New York in 2022.
Daniel DeLeon has started to find a comfortable spot in the starting lineup here, joining this team midway through the season. But under Ibrahim Sakaya, he's really settled in over the last 4 games.
Yeah, Daniel DeLeon definitely is finding his footing here with New York. Had been in and out of the lineup, making some substitute appearances, which is not easy for a center back, obviously. With the red card troubles, it is like a revolving door at the back line, but his leadership, I think Ibrahim Sakaya has been working with him on harnessing that energy that he has. He's always, I talked to him, he's always talking, in and around the team. He's always got things to say, and so he's using that the right way and be a leader within this young group and using his experience to help those around him.
If that's all it takes, I could play. I didn't
mean,
realize it was just about talking.
You're a good talker,
yeah.
for sure.
It'll be Robbie Crawford to take this corner kick. Talk about leaders. Crawford, longtime Charleston player, returning midway through the season, as that one's headed on goal, and Nico Politis is able to take it off the bounce. Crawford, the 29-year-old out of Scotland, made 41 appearances for Charleston from 2020 to 2021, joined Monterey Bay this year, returned on July 21st to the Charleston Battery. over the top, and the flag goes up. Curtis Fourroux making the initial call, and then the referee agreeing. So the battle in the attack. Crawford able to get on the loose ball. Flanagan immediately trying to start the attack. And that one a little too far there for Apodaca.
Yeah, it was a good run there from Steven Serwada. Looks like he did all the hard work, just couldn't find the final pass there. Just lost a bit of control, and a good break from Charleston. Just couldn't find that pass from Flanagan to Apodaca.
Clark not able to keep it under control. So it'll be a throw in against New York Red Bulls 2. Caden Clark now his 5th start for New York Red Bulls 2. As Crawford takes a knock, no foul called, and it'll roll out for a goal kick for New York. Caden Clark brings a different element to this team at that number 10 position.
Just a player with a lot more polish in his game. Obviously gets on the ball, can make things happen, 1-2 touch, can move it quickly. But the other thing, he knows how to press effectively from that role. He puts in a lot of hard work. I don't think a lot of people realize the amount of work that he puts in. As Curtis Fourroux just gets trampled over there from Harmon. But Caden Clark, a great two-way player, and I think looking here to spark this attack, obviously, but it's so good for Ibrahim Sagaya to have a player in that position that can really push the attack and ignite it from the front all the way back.
Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select League's Choice, Player's Choice. Castellano brings that ball down. Immediately bodied off the ball. This one over the top for Williams. Williams catching up to it, and Mullings all the way back to make the recovery tackle.
That's the type of recovery speed that Avante Mullings possesses there. Hassan and Dom looking for the referee to call it offsides, but Augie Williams timed his run to perfection there at the back post. That ball hung up a little bit. I don't think he could fully get it out in front of him as he looks to collect it again here in the box.
Apodaca. His shot deflected. Crawford off the post. The second chance. Williams, and it's closed down by Nico Politis.
Charleston yet again denied by the woodwork. Steven Serwada looked like he took the worst of that tackle with Williams. And Crawford can't believe he didn't find the back of the net there.
Yeah, it falls to Crawford in the middle of the box. He cuts it back to the left foot. As we take a look here, off the long throw. Apodaca has been a threat all game to start out. It's a messy play, but it doesn't take a deflection. It's clean off that left foot.
Absolutely. Caught it perfectly. And beat everything but the post there. Unfortunate for Charleston.
No trainer coming out, so Serwada good to continue here. That one's blasted off of Ibra and out into the bench.
Ibra's going to walk that one off a little bit. Don't sit down, big guy. Rub some dirt on it.
He's just a ball magnet. True center back. Always getting in the middle of things. De Leon in a foot race now. He beats Apodaca to it. Back to Endom. Now Castellano under pressure. Charleston pushing up their lines. Big tackle from Hogan. And the slide tackle coming in right in front of the referee, and we'll have our first card of the game. And there will be against Romario Pigot. And you heard the screams come from Serwada the second time he's been down.
Yeah, Serwada's been taking a beating in this first 13, 14 minutes here as Pigot will pick up the first yellow card of the match. Sirwada looking to get some treatment here. Zebra's been a magnet for balls. He's been a magnet for tackles.
But what a tackle there from Hogan. Ryan chests that ball down to Clark. Clark from midfield was in on goal.
Yeah, if he doesn't get that right, that's going to be a big opportunity for New York, as you can see the replay here.
And he got the ball first.
Looks like he won the ball. I think that lead leg went a little high. It looked like he caught Sirwada in the knee. Struggling a bit at the moment, but I think he'll be able to continue.
For New York Red Bulls, too, a short bench here today, as it is for Charleston as well. First ever appearance on the bench for Alan Rutkowski, Academy goalkeeper. Eric Ruiz, who has now been on the bench or played in the last 3 games out of the Academy. An option, John Murphy. You'd think he would be the sub for Sirwada if you had to. Chris Cragwell, the center back. Lamine Conte, a center back as well. And Jonathan Felipe on the bench. Of course, no Michael Knapp with the red card. Daniel Edelman, who played in the last game, not available for this game, for this side. And a few of the Academy players are actually over in Germany playing at a Red Bull Global Tournament. So Davi Alexandre, who we saw make his debut, not available. Good feet there from Harmon. And Dom will clear that one away.
Yeah, great little combination there with DZ Harmon. Player with so much quality on this right-hand side for Charleston. It's going to be a big test for Curtis Ofori. Again, I feel like we say that every week.
DZ Harmon made his pro debut against New York Red Bulls too last year, about a week after the College Cup. If you remember, because of COVID, it was a spring season. He got signed while playing for Coastal Carolina. He then played, lost, and then drove up to New York, New Jersey to be a part of the team. And he has really found his feet over the last 2 years now. This is his 48th appearance already for Charleston Battery. De Leon under pressure. He gets to the sideline, but Harmon wins it back. Harmon into space. His cross to the back post. It's over the head of Asensio.
It's unfortunate for Charleston there. Put themselves in a really good position, have De Leon out on the sideline, giving that ball up. So many numbers in the box, but Harmon couldn't find one of an Asensio. Just overran that play a little bit.
Conor Casey, in his first year, he has tried to add that high pressing style to the team. It's been a slow build as a new group of players learn it, but it's been a bright start here. All their big chances have come off turnovers high up the field.
Absolutely. They've been pushing a lot of numbers forward on this back line, challenging and Dom and De Leon.
Chance here once again, and it's just wide of the opening goal. What a touch and what a chance for Aiden Apudaka.
Apudaka has been really active in the early goings here. He's creating so many good chances and gets one for himself there, just can't find it on frame. You could see the disappointment as he took such a beautiful first touch. Just couldn't find that back post. Nico Politis has had quite a lot of action on the early goings here. Look at that first touch around De Leon and tries to just hit it with the outside of his right foot, just curling wide.
Clark now leading the press the other direction. Ball played all the way up the field. De Leon wins the header, but can't win it to a teammate, and it'll roll out for a throw-in. Got to tell you, I'm pretty sure Avion Flanagan's family is in the house. He was just sent to the team this week, and there are 2 Flanagan jerseys with Charleston Battery colors on the back.
Love it.
Carmona under pressure. And he will not win a corner kick.
Good job of Crawford and Sheldon putting pressure on Carmona in the corner, trying to earn the corner kick, but they do a good job to limit it to a goal kick there.
Hugo Fourroux out of Cannes, France, the 25-year-old goalkeeper. This is his 15th start of the season. Came over to the U.S. to play college soccer and has bounced around over the last few years, but has found a home here in Charleston. He turns that one over. Castellano looking for Ryan. Patterson clears it away. And Asensio able to bring it down. Serwada closing. Asensio under pressure, handles it well. And now Crawford able to play through it. Only to the feet of Serwada, and it will go all the way back to the goalkeeper's hands. Hogan going to go quickly up the field. Augie Williams did so well, and now Carmona going down, getting hit. Excuse me, Castellano taking the ball to the face. 20 minutes open here. Connor, you'd have to think your namesake, Conor Casey, would be the happier of the two coaches so far.
Absolutely. I think the first few minutes, Ibrahim Sagaya had to be pleased with the way New York started this match. They were all over Charleston, but Charleston took a couple punches and they've been throwing a couple back themselves. It's been a fantastic 20 minutes this game. A lot of end-to-end action, but Charleston seems to be the aggressor right now and is building a lot of momentum.
It's an interesting, I'd say, midfield five for New York Red Bulls too. You've got Jordan Adebayo-Smith, who's really a forward on the wing, and then you've got two true attackers at the 6-8 positions for New York Red Bulls too, so you can understand you don't have a ton of options with Knapp red carded and Sam Williams out to college as well, but it feels like it's maybe been easier for Charleston to play through it than you'd like.
Absolutely. I think just the way the front three have stayed pretty tight together makes it difficult for this New York press. Obviously, you want your outside backs to be aggressive, but when you've got these two wing backs on the line, it makes it very tough to play in those half spaces and protect the space behind. So I honestly, this formation for Conor Casey, he's got to be very pleased with the way that it's limiting New York from getting pressure on the ball.
DZ Harmon's had a bright start to this one. Charlie Asensio less on the ball, but crashing on that far post. We've seen he already hit the crossbar. So it looks like we will redo the drop ball. Castellano still being looked at and talked to by the coaching staff on the sideline. This one headed down, and Teleon brings it down at the feet of Williams. Immediately closing is Patterson. This one back, and now Ryan closed down by white shirts. Carmona furthest forward, and will allow it to roll back to Fourroux. Hogan, the big pass up the field. One back by New York, and Serwada cannot find a teammate.
That's a good idea there from Serwada as Carmona was taking interior position, just couldn't find him in that space. But if Carmona's making that run a little bit harder, I think he's going to be in on goal.
And this is an interesting moment. Fourroux's going to get the yellow card. There was a decent amount of contact. I don't know that the contact caused the fall from DZ Harmon, but it was there from Fourroux from the second he touched the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see the replay on that one to see quite what Curtis Fourroux's extent was.
Oh, you ask and you get it.
My guy's in the truck. There we go. You can see he pulled him back a little bit there.
There was definitely contact.
Yes.
It felt like Harmon maybe lost his feet after the contact ended, but I think that's the fair call. Is DeLeon and Williams jawing at it. We said DeLeon, his first season here, now with New York Red Bulls too. Augie Williams, his first season with Charleston, 12 goals already this year. He had 6 goals in just 13 appearances for San Diego last year on loan. He has scored everywhere he has been in the USL Championship. Overall, 20 goals for LA Galaxy, too, as Crawford flies forward off the turnover. It goes off a defender, still alive, and Mullings just puts it as far away as he can get it.
Yeah, Crawford at the start of that play, it looks like Serwada. You could hear the slap up here. It wasn't anything malicious from Crawford, but a trailing arm Caught Sirwada in the face, and a great little run from him and trying to draw the foul, touching it by Ndam, but the referee said nothing there for him.
Flanagan, who spent a lot of his career as a fullback, playing as a winger in this one, comes back, does the defensive work, but New York is able to get it back in possession. Adebayo Smith now. Back to Sirwada. The Ugandan international, Steven Sirwada. He's got 2 goals in the last 3 games here at Red Bull Arena. That one's turned over. Under no pressure. A little touch from the con man.
There you go. You know that was my screen name?
Con man?
Con man.
You were a big Conor Casey fan?
Nah. Conor Casey, I'm still feeling Conor Casey's cleat marks on the back of my calf from the Open Cup quite a few years ago.
Ball through for Harmon. Early ball off of Fourroux, who stumbles. Harmon now time to pick out a teammate, and Sirwada, who else, gets a touch to it.
Steven Sirwada getting it done at both ends of the pitch. With DZ Harmon playing the 1-2 off Curtis Fourroux. Just can't find anyone in the box. As Steven Sirwada, again, looking for Apodaca. Steven Sirwada is just being the pest that he is defensively.
Was this an Open Cup game against the Rapids? Was it Philly?
It was against
Union?
Philly.
Okay.
It was against Philly. I think it was the one we lost in PKs. They were, because he got the red card on that tackle on me. And we
Was
lost.
it at home?
It was, and we lost in PKs.
That was when it was like a Tuesday afternoon game because
Yeah.
you played Benfica or something
yeah,
the next
yeah,
day.
I'm sure it was.
That was a great game
It was.
for us who ditched work that day to go to a soccer game
Not
instead.
you. No.
Me?
Never
Never.
you.
Who?
You're just doing your job.
just doing my job. Sirwada. You think at this point, as Sirwada plays in a deep cross, you think Steven knows it's one of those games? He's been on the ground 3 times already. He got hit in the face. Like, do you recognize it pretty quickly, right?
100%. And I think Steven, I mean, he doesn't shy away from
Yeah.
any of that. He puts himself in those positions to get hit, and he's always around the ball, as any good D-mid is. He craves that contact. I think he's so quiet off the field, but when he gets on the field, there's something flips. You know, he flips that switch, and he's just an animal.
The reigning title holders visit in-state rivals as USL on ESPN2 continues. Orange County looks for a late-season surge against Sacramento Republic FC Sunday, September 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Sacramento has found their form off the back of their Open Cup semifinal win. Looking good in league as well as in cup competition. Quick ball over the top. Williams takes it down. De Leon there to recover, and the offside flag goes up.
And Williams looking to split. And Dom and De Leon trying to take the touch back around De Leon there. He's been caught offsides quite a few times here. But New York, he's also timed that run quite well a few times as well. So Hassan and Dom, Daniel De Leon are playing that high line as Ibrahim Sagayo wants to play. But you know when there's a player like this, 12 goals on the year, you got to be careful playing with fire.
I would just like to state, to be clear, besides kicking Connor Lade, Conor Casey scored 73 career MLS goals, 2 for the national team in 19 caps. Played in the Olympics, played in the Bundesliga for like 5 years. So I just want to make sure everyone knows there are other things too.
Oh, there's a lot of love for Conor Casey. I mean, one of the tougher people I played against in my career. He just a guy. He doesn't jump off the page in terms of speed or anything, but he used his body so well. His instincts as a forward, and obviously could put the ball in the back of the net with ease. Great career for Conor Casey.
Yeah, great soccer legend, interim coach for the Colorado Rapids in 2019, and now taking over for Mike Anheuser, who is one of the USL legends, American Soccer Hall of Famer. Spent over 25 years with the Charleston Battery as a player, coach, and front office executive. And now Conor Casey getting a chance to sort of put things together his own way. New York Red Bulls, too, settling down a little bit after that flurry of early chances, but here's an opportunity as Augie Williams is off and running. He's onside, he was behind midfield. One-on-one, the early shot, the save by Nico Politis.
Augie Williams with a great opportunity there. Decides to pull up from deep as Hassan and Dom close this space there, but Daniel De Leon, a giveaway there that really hurt New York. He's had a couple here in the early goings that haven't been the cleanest, but Williams decided to test Nico Politis from outside the box, and Nico Politis with a strong save gives up the corner kick.
You could feel Endom's speed affect that a little bit, and I think Williams maybe tries to outrun another player. Once he feels the pressure of Endom, he pulls back and then tries the long shot as the cross played up into the air by Endom. It bounces in the box. Harmon battling for the ball, surrounded by black jerseys. Williams turns it over to Serwada. He's got no teammates ahead of him. Steven Serwada now in transition. Slides it for Adebayo Smith. He's around one defender. He's around two defenders. The cross, it's over Clark, knocked down by Carmona, and it rolls wide.
What a play for New York there, just begging for a finish. Steven Serwada kicking it off, dancing on the sideline, but finding Jordan Adebayo Smith, who knows exactly what he wants to do, touching it around Asensio, looping it to the back post, and Carmona almost looked like Caden Clark maybe got in his way a little bit there, couldn't put his full foot behind it, trying to guide it to that back post.
It looked like Clark heard the call late and gets in Carmona's way, lining up the shot.
A great transition moment
Can of
there
Red
for New
Bull's been
York.
cracked open. We got energy drink soccer here on the field at MSU Soccer Park. Harmon by Fourroux taken down, and a penalty kick coming. Fourroux beaten 1v1 on the edge of the box. Jesus Castellano coming over to support, and he got all body on that tackle.
Yeah, I thought Harmon was going to go down maybe initially after this Curtis Fourroux challenge. Hits him with a little scissor, drags it past, using that strength. Curtis Fourroux trying to win the ball. Just gets muscled off, and then Castellano just puts his body right into Harmon. Harmon using that pace, that power to draw the penalty.
And he's had the run of things along the right wing so far. Augie Williams now looking to put his team ahead after two shots have hit the post for this Charleston side. Giannis Nico Politis looking big in the goal. Augie Williams trying to make it 4 straight games, and he does. The opening goal from the spot, the 13th of the season for Augustine Williams.
Augie Williams, just so clinical. He's been a man on fire this entire 2022 season and just steps up to this penalty with such confidence, sending Nico Politis the wrong way and burying it in the back of the net to give Charleston the early 1-0 lead. Just great work from DZ Harmons. You figured in those moments, it almost should get an assist.
Yeah, Harmon, he's been phenomenal. I didn't want to shortchange Augie Williams. That's his 5th straight game with a goal.
He's been on fire. Unbelievable.
He gets himself in to the Golden Boot conversation as well. And it's probably an unattainable one, but it's always nice to be mentioned, you know.
Absolutely.
Right now, Olofsky on 16 goals. Carlson right behind him for the Oakland Roots at 15. Goodrum, Barry, and Judd all sitting on 13 as Augie Williams joins them now in a tie for 3rd place. Hogan will go all the way back to the goalkeeper. Pressure coming from Ryan. De Leon goes up to win the header. Clark brings it down. And intercepted by Crawford. And under pressure, Flanagan chasing this one to the end, and he'll get called for the foul.
Charleston has been all over the second balls here tonight, which is a big problem for New York. They have been second on most of the balls here, probably in the last 20, 25 minutes, and they've really conceded the middle of the field. I think Steven Serwada, Castellano, there's a bit of a disconnect in the middle of the field there where they haven't got a ton of support from Caden Clark or Wiki Carmona coming back into the game, trying to win those second balls.
Hogan once again winning that second ball. Patterson there. Is there, when you press, teams go long, is there a directive of where the header should go, or is it just whatever you can do to win it?
You want to put it back into your numbers, first off, but when that ball does go over your head, your first instinct has to be turning and coming back into the game, because when you don't, obviously they're losing all the second balls, which leads to incredible transition moments for Charleston, who has also been throwing a lot of numbers on the back line, which has made life very tough for this back line tonight.
So Carmona and Clark over this one. They are the two deepest players on the field besides Nico Politis. All 11 back to defend. The center back's up for this free kick. Endom gets a foot to it. Ryan chasing it down. He keeps it in play. Second ball in, headed away by Patterson. Castellano over to Mullings. Mullings dips by the first defender. He keeps it in as well. Levante Mullings, the confidence off that goal. It's through the box, and Endom can't wrap his foot around it.
Wow, Levante Mullings. You put this guy in 1v1 battle there. Asensio just can't keep up as he gets to the byline and whips in a beautiful ball here into the box. Takes a deflection. Hassan Endom, the moment that center backs dream of getting in the box there, just can't quite direct it on net.
Patterson goes long. Endom knocks it down. Serwada's there this time. Serwada now striding forward. Taken away by Pigot. Crawford. A quick ball over the top. DeLeon under pressure. He turns it over. Chance coming now. Nico Politis is beaten. And it's 2-0 to the Charleston Battery. Apodaca picks up the loose ball, and he beats the center back and the goalkeeper.
Apodaca has had a phenomenal first half and gets rewarded with the goal here. Look at the work. The little nudge, just throwing De Leon off as he's trying to head that ball backwards upfield. Just gets it wrong, and Apodaca does the rest, touching it forward, not giving De Leon a chance to get back in that play, and beats Nico Politis. And Charleston looks so comfortable in this match right now. And Conor Casey making sure they're keeping up with this and finishing out this half strong.
The California native, his third goal of the season. That one will go down unassisted off the head of De Leon, and you could see De Leon was caught. Does he try head back? Is he too far out? He heads it straight up in the air, and Apodaca, we've seen this all game, hasn't quit on a single ball.
No, absolutely. He's shown incredible work rate, making life difficult for this back line, but he's created some fantastic chances for his teammates as well. He's just a very well-rounded attacker.
Fourroux just gets a toe to it. Serwada coming back, the goal scorer Apodaca doing some work, and you look at New York Red Bulls too, two huge opportunities, one side, one before the goal, one after the goal, the first goal. But Charleston has now made their chances count, and they're up 2-0 here. Can they see out the rest of this first half?
Yeah, they look extremely comfortable with what they're doing now. Their game plan drawn out by Conor Casey in New York, just playing far too many balls underneath the pressure of Charleston, which lets them be so aggressive to step out and be very predictable. They haven't found times finding Jordan Adebayo-Smith, who we've seen him use that pace in the first half, just playing everything underneath. And I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to combine, lure them out, but you still need those runs behind to open them up.
So the penalty kick, the first goal in the 33rd minute. The second goal there in the 36th. After Charleston hit the crossbar and the post to open up this game. Clark drives this one in. Crawford able to bring it down. Patterson, long ball. Williams heads it along. Nico Politis blasting it towards Ryan. The strong header won by Hogan. And now DZ Harmon bursting through the midfield. Harmon shot and it's just wide. Saved by Nico Politis.
DZ Harmon looked like he was shot out of a cannon there. Just breaking through this back line. I think Augie Williams is thinking he has a tap in at the back if he can play him. But DZ Williams, I think Curtis Fourroux, credit to him, does a good job of just being a little bit of a menace there and not, giving him a full swing at it. And Nico Politis does a good job of coming out, being big, taking a good angle, and getting that deflection wide.
So Crawford goes short here. Pickett wasn't able to keep it in the corner. Now roll out for a Charleston Battery throw-in. Charleston, right now, the 2 goals may be less impressive than the shutout as we approach halftime. 4-1 loss to Louisville on the road. 4-2 loss to Sacramento in the game before at home. 3-3 draw against Colorado Springs the game before that. And we talked about the changes at the back. Sheldon has held up well so far. Hogan's been immense at the center back spot.
Yeah. Zach Ryan has had a handful here today. Every time he touches the ball, Hogan's been all over him. And Sheldon's been fantastic, as is Patterson. They've had really, outside of that opening flurry of chances from New York, they've been extremely strong.
And Harmon has maybe been the best player on the field, as Fourroux gets a toe to that one and puts it out for a corner kick. Harmon drew the penalty kick, so he doesn't have an assist or a goal in this game, but he has been incredible at the right wing back spot.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. We talked about his pace and his power, but his calm on the ball when he does get those opportunities to lure defenders in and find those chances to push it by him. He's been fantastic, and Curtis Fourroux has had quite the job tonight trying to contain him.
Headed on at the near post by DeLeon. Put back in by Sheldon, but can't find Crawford. Opportunity for New York Red Bulls too in transition. Clark and Crawford getting into it. Patterson comes over, and now Clark and Patterson are getting into it. Hassan Endam not having any of that. And the referee will have some work to do, some accounting now. We thought there'd be a little bit in this game. 2 teams that are very familiar with each other, years in the Eastern Conference. Former Red Bull 2 player on the bench in Preston Kilwine, former Red Bull player on the coaching staff for Charleston. So a ton of connections normally breeds a little bit of contempt.
Absolutely, and then not to mention 2 teams at the bottom of the East. There's already a layer of baked-in frustration on the way this season has gone for the 2 sides, and it'll be interesting to see who comes away with what.
So a yellow card for Crawford. And this does not look good. Back of the pocket, Caden Clark picks up a red card here in the 43rd minute. For the 2nd straight game, the 9th time this season, a New York Red Bull 2 player picks up a red card. And it often is the one who reacts. Crawford was the one who got called for the foul. He picks up a yellow card. And A.J. Patterson now will pick up a yellow card as well.
Yeah, I think it was the initial swing after the play there from Caden Clark on Crawford.
And Hassan Endam for coming 55 yards to get involved. He picks up a yellow card. Reminder, he just returned today after picking up 2 yellow cards a week ago. And A late red card in that one.
It's a lot of accounting to do there.
I think I used the right term to open this up.
And again, for New York, frustration. Yet another red card. And they're going to play the rest of this first half and the entire second half a man down.
Alihi Ari Green, our head official here. So he hands out 3 yellow cards and a red card there in a short amount of time. So we're still now waiting to see that replay.
Yeah,
to see what happened. It is the free kick to New York Red Bulls too.
Yeah, Caden Clark got fouled on the initial play and looked like Crawford was holding him, and he preferred he'd let go of him,
Yeah.
and I think he did possibly swing out. I'm not quite sure. Looked like an arm was, not sure if it was a push or what. But then Patterson comes in, and the rest is history there as Don comes upfield, and it's a coming together of both sides.
So Wiki Carmona will serve this one in. Reminder, New York Red Bulls 2 went down a man, down a goal in the last game, and came back to win 2-1 as we enter a minimum of 4 minutes of stoppage time. And here we finally get the replay. And I think this might already be after what the red card was shown for.
Yeah.
Because nothing in there is red card worthy. It has to, as you said, be the initial reaction to the foul off Crawford.
Yeah, Clark and Crawford coming together there, and I don't think Crawford let go of that jersey.
And as this one snuck through, if you're Caden Clark, you have to know that's mission accomplished for Robbie Crawford, right?
Absolutely.
He winds you up. He gets the red card. Caden Clark's the player who's going to play in the Champions League next year at RB Leipzig and maybe for the national. He's got to be better in that moment.
Yeah, that's as a young player, you've got to keep your head in those moments. There's ways of getting yourself out of that situation, but it's never throwing your arm at someone, and so that's going to be a learning moment there from Caden Clark.
Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC channel 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern, plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Caden Clark shown a red card here right at the end of the first half. 2 goals in a span of 3 minutes for Charleston, put them in the driver's seat already late on in this half as Carmona now attacking. Hogan again with the big tackle. Ryan lines it up. His shot is blocked off Hogan and out for a corner kick.
Zach Ryan picking that ball up at the top of the box. I love what I see there from him. Obviously, yes, you can play that ball wide to Carmona or Fourroux, but he's a guy who wants to put the ball in the back of the net and takes it upon himself to earn the corner kick here.
Carmona curls it in and taken easily in the end by Fourroux. So Charleston battery in the driver's seat. Now, one of their issues this year has been seeing out these moments, putting their sort of foot on the neck and cleaning out the game. So I think for Conor Casey, that's going to be the message at halftime, you'd assume.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to keep the aggression that you showed in the first half and not do anything to let New York back into this game, because we've seen even in a 2-0 game, they fight and claw their way back into the match. So I think the emphasis coming out of the locker room is going to be getting that third goal and staying aggressive. Keep your foot on the pedal.
It really will, as Harmon once again gets the better of Fourroux. And this time he gets called for the foul. It does feel like next goal wins if Red Bull 2 come out and they can score first, 2-1, the energy in the crowd, that's going to give them that emphasis. But if Charleston can come out and make it 3-0 quick, that could really kill the spirit for New York Red Bulls 2. As I said, down a man, they gave up the goal against Atlanta United 2 on Tuesday night to go down 1-0 and came back and scored through Steven Serwada and Ovante Mullings to win 2-1. Mullings' goal to win it A big one for them. It was the third latest go-ahead goal and game winner in New York Red Bull 2 history. That's how rare that has been and how dramatic that goal was. As Cerwada to Mullings again, and the side netting.
What an opportunity for Avante Mullings, and this all starts off the touch of Zach Ryan on the sideline. But if you watch the replay, if he just curls this ball into the feet of Steven Cerwada there, he plays a little bit behind him. But Cerwada does so well to put this ball in the path of Avante Mullings, who just can't tuck it inside that near post. And Fourroux keeps the clean sheet in the first half.
A dramatic first half. A penalty kick to open things up. Augie Williams, his 13th goal of the season, to move into a tie for third place in the Golden Boot race, but not even nearly the most dramatic moment. Apodaca, a stunning goal to make it 2-3 minutes later, and then a red card to Caden Clark as he battles with Robbie Crawford. 4 cards in total shown off that one play. And in the end, Charleston Battery head to the locker room in a commanding 2-0 lead. We'll be back with first half highlights, a look around the league, and then second half action, all coming up here on ESPN+.
In 2020, in the very beginning, we had people banging pots and pans outside. This time around, I've had people spit at me. I've had people scream at me.
People just don't understand it unless you're there.
I come into work just wanting to help my patients.
We are building our team back again, and we are building it back stronger and stronger.
You really love what you do, so you stick to it.
Add drama to every drive. The exhilarating Audi SUV family.
I'll give you something, make you shake it, shake it.
Red Bull Arena has been the fortress.
The atmosphere absolutely electric.
Patrick Lamont, a superb finish. Oh my goodness, Christian Caceres saved Coronel. Oh, what a dynamite stop.
All it takes is one chance for the Red Bulls.
Bring the house down. Red Bull Arena's his home. Oh, what a finish.
The sun setting as the weekend ready to begin here in New Jersey. David Goss and Connor Lade with you. A perfect day for soccer. Finally, the heat has broken in the Northeast. Charleston Battery and New York Red Bulls 2 facing off, and you wanted to highlight Augie Williams in the pregame, and he has been as advertised.
Yeah, Williams has been fantastic. Obviously, getting out on the run, as you can see here, earning a corner kick, but he's just been so dangerous all night. DZ Harmon earns a penalty. Williams does the rest of it, getting Charleston off the board early on in this match. And this is a man just dripping with confidence right now, scoring in 5 straight games, as you mentioned. And on the flip side, Avante Mullings, arguably the most dangerous player for New York on the night, just looking for these 1v1 opportunities where he can flash his speed, touching it by Asensio here, whipping in dangerous balls in the box, which set up Endam, who couldn't put it on frame. He's just been constantly well-timed run after well-timed run.
This was one of the last kicks of the first half. It almost cut the lead in half to 2-1 for Avante Mullings. And now we get a chance to speak to Avante Mullings. We sat down with the 22-year-old to discuss what it's like to play for New York Red Bulls and how his pace of play makes him the perfect fit for high-pressing New York Red Bulls too.
Avante looking to search a little bit, trying to create.
In creating these chances, it's really just finding the best opportunity that presents itself. A lot of things happen quickly in the game, so for me, I'm just trying to pick out the best opportunity that I see, and then my teammates have capitalized on those opportunities, and just thankful for my teammates. I'm a Red Bull player. That's why they brought me here. I possess the pressing qualities that is within the identity of the club, and have the intensity, the quality, and all the abilities that help myself perform better and help the team be effective and productive on the field. And I feel like that's why they brought me here, to showcase those qualities and just keep growing as a player.
And we've seen it from Avante Mullings. 2 assists in that game against Hartford, the goal in the last game. But as we said, at a right back, he has been the most dangerous player in this game.
And that's exactly why they put him in this position. Obviously, yes, you could put him upfield, but his pace, not only offensively, with the recovery speed that he possesses, the way he can get into attack with these well-timed runs is absolutely so impressive. But I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me, obviously, he's had some really good defensive plays. It's still not a finished product by any means, but he's come along such a far way since the beginning of the season in his defensive work.
And you look at what John Tolkien is at New York Red Bulls. That's the goal with Avante Mullings. And it feels like he's taken it on to learn the position, to convert. It feels like he gets why he could be special there.
Absolutely. And he gets in these 1v1 opportunities that he's accustomed to being in as a winger. It's just a different way to get to that spot. Yeah, it's a little bit more work, but he's got the engine to do it. The tarmac is definitely longer, but he has the work rate to get there.
Well, we'll hope to see a little bit more of that. We'll take a look around the league and look at first half highlights, a dramatic one. Penalty kick, 2 goals and a red card, all coming up here on ESPN+.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
I'm on that routine. I'm on that routine.
Raffanello with the shot now, and New York Red Bulls 2 take the lead. Forbes one-on-one with Marcucci, and it's saved again.
This guy has ice in his veins.
And it's in. What a finish. The teenager in front of his academy teammates. Drama from Serge Ngoma that night a year ago. Drama in the USL Championship right now as the race to the top is tight. Louisville City still hanging on. Their last game, of course, the 4-1 win against the East Charleston Battery, but Tampa hot on their heels, and Memphis 901 off their win last week here at MSU Soccer Park. They have found their form once again. and they start to move up the standings, but it is tight, and you know it will remain that way for the rest of the season. Let's take a look at some scores here this weekend. Midweek games, San Diego Loyal knocking off Monterey Bay. San Antonio remaining on top of the Western Conference with that big win against Loudoun United, who signed a new player this week as well, and Christian Fletcher. And FC Tulsa the win over Miami. Miami will be heading here to MSU Soccer Park in a few weeks. Let's take a look at the news and notes and what else is the news. But Sacramento Republic, a huge win for them to move into the final. The first time a lower division team has been there since the Charleston Battery in 2008. Sacramento off the back of this win, they have been great in league play as well. They knocked off Charleston 4-2. They got the win last week as well, and then a 1-1 draw against RGV. So clearly the confidence flowing.
Absolutely. And I think my favorite thing about a long extended break between the Open Cup semifinal and final is you get to watch these highlights and the Malik Foster chip.
It's great.
So many times.
It is so great.
You know, but it's a historic moment for the club, and here you go. You get to see it again. But such an incredible fan base out there in Sacramento who really deserve this moment.
I'm excited to see what the traveling fan base looks like in Orlando. It's an easy place to get to. It is a long trip, but it's a place with a lot of flights,
Absolutely.
A lot of hotels. It'll be interesting to see what that turnout looks like. You take a look at the first half highlights, the possession numbers don't really tell the full story. 6 shots on goal for Charleston. They've hit the crossbar, they've hit the post. Nico Politis, 2 big saves. And then, of course, the goals, one coming off the penalty kick. Let's take a look at the highlights now from this first half. And an electric one at that. Excuse me, we'll go to break. We come back, we'll take a look at those first half highlights. They are good, so stay tuned.
In 2020, in the very beginning, we had people banging pots and pans outside. This time around, I've had people spit at me. I've had people scream at me.
People just don't understand it unless you're there.
I come into work just wanting to help my patients.
We are building our team back again, and we are building it back stronger and stronger.
You really love what you do, so you stick to it.
Add drama to every drive. The exhilarating Audi SUV family.
Red Bull Arena has been the fortress.
The atmosphere absolutely electric.
Patrick Lamont on a superb finish. Oh my goodness, Christian Casseres saved for it out. Oh, what a dynamite stop. All it takes is one chance for the Red Bulls. Bring the house down. Red Bull Arena's his home. Oh, what a finish.
Players back out on the field getting ready for the second half here at MSU Soccer Park. David Goss and Connor Lade with you. But first, let's take a look at the highlights. Many of them in that first half. We said it, crossbar and post hit by the Charleston Battery. This is probably the best look of the game for New York Red Bulls, too. Mullings not able to wrap his foot around that one on the far side. DZ Harmon drew the penalty, and who else but Augie Williams to dispatch.
Augie Williams getting his 13th of the year in his 23rd appearance. Daniel De Leon giving Apodaca a golden opportunity to make it 2-0, and he makes no mistake, tucking it neatly into the side netting, walking away, giving his team the 2-0 lead. And you can see the red card here on Caden Clark. Crawford pulling Clark, and you can see Clark not happy Looks like it was an open hand, a little slap there to the chest of Crawford, and he got his marching orders after that play.
The red card shown to Caden Clark, 3 yellow cards shown at the same time. Hassan Endam picked one up, AJ Patterson and Robbie Crawford for the foul. So we move into the second half for New York Red Bulls 2. This was the end of a 4-game homestand. Late loss to New Mexico, as well as the Memphis 901, the win over Atlanta United 2. So now New York Red Bulls 2 head back out on the road at Pittsburgh, at Birmingham, before returning home against Hartford, and then going to Charleston, because this is the first time these 2 Eastern Conference teams have faced off. On the flip side for Charleston, it does not get easier for them in the next run. They go to LA, home to Detroit, they travel to Pittsburgh, and then they host New York Red Bulls 2 and the second best team in the Eastern Conference in the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Quite the schedule coming up.
And it's why they'd love to close out 3 points here today. It would be their first win in 4 games, their first result in 3, and maybe even more important to them could be the shutout. As we said, 4 goals given up in the last 2 games each against Louisville and Sacramento, 3 goals against the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, as that one's driven long. A clash of heads. Fourroux will be checked on, and a yellow card here to DZ Harmon. He is surprisingly one of the few players who did not already have one.
Yeah, DZ Harmon and Fourroux coming together there. Harmon walking away a little bit mystified on why he got that yellow card.
Harmon has been probably the best player in the game. He came out of college as a forward. He played as a second forward last year, converting here to right wing back, and it seems to take for him.
It's similar to Avante Mullings. These players that have a lot of prowess up the field, but the pace to get there to those moments, and that's exactly what DZ Harmon has as well.
And that's the hope, I think, with the academy setup in the USL as well as in MLS. It's probably players like that get converted at a younger age, learn the position like a Curtis Oforie or John Tolkien, rather than being a forward because you're so good through college and then at 23 learning the spot.
Absolutely, and I think it's almost something you have to expect coming into a higher level, and not being your mindset is I'm going to play this position at the pro level. I think for a lot of young players, you have to come in with the mindset that you don't know what this coach is going to do. You know, I think they see something in you, which is a positive, but it may be at a different position. So I think trying those different positions at a younger age just makes you a well-rounded player, and maybe that won't be such an adjustment period after the fact when you do get to that level.
Castellano pushing it forward for Ryan Serwada. He's going to be active in this second half. He has to be.
You know what? That was the reason I played goalkeeper from like U6 to U8.
You just got to get a feel for all of it. And for the amount of big athletic Americans who could be in goal, it's good they chose to start with you.
The goals got bigger, and I moved out of goal for sure. But, yeah, everyone aspires to be Mike McGee, you know?
There's some stat about Mike McGee, and I can't remember it now, but he has some save, goal, assist record. I think he did them with the Galaxy in the same game.
And that was the Brian White here.
Brian White here. That's who it was, yeah. Shout out to Brian White, coming back from injury right now with the Vancouver Whitecaps, a legendary former New York Red Bull 2 player. Good touch from Apodaca. That one's blasted out. As we said, former Red Bull 2 player Preston Kilwine on the bench for this one. There's one on every team. That's what happens when you have that high level of churn. 3 players actually acquired by New York Red Bulls 2 this week. Henry Wise acquired as a full signing, and then 2 loanies brought in as well, both from Central America for the rest of this season. So some new talent, some, fresh energy maybe, and different perspective around the corner for the New York Red Bulls too, as they do not have the full complement of their bench here today. Neither does Charleston, by the way.
I think especially when it comes down, obviously August is extremely packed for both Red Bull 2 and the MLS side New York Red Bulls. You're not getting as much support coming down. You need to fill out that roster in certain ways. especially as you get down to crunch time in the beginning or at the end of this year, as the New York Red Bulls MLS side is pushing for playoff contention. They're not going to get as much help, so you need to supplement that roster with these new signings, and I think it's going to be a breath of fresh air for this entire roster, and I add a ton of quality to the team.
Yeah, game tomorrow for New York Red Bulls, a rematch of that Open Cup semifinal on the other side from Sacramento against Orlando, and then traveling down to Atlanta midweek. So as you said, Caden Clark with the red card, you wouldn't expect Edelman to be available as he has been, because he will probably play some form of minutes in that game. So an opportunity to bring in some new players here and test them out as this one's through for Apodaca. Williams making the hard run. The cross comes in and Nico Politis reads it.
And who was on the beginning of that play? Good old DZ Harmon. Pulling the strings in midfield, springing that attack to Apodaca, who tries to find Williams. Just put it a little too close to Nico Politis, who comes out, is aggressive. And if he doesn't get on that, Williams could have his second on the day. But another quick transition moment. As soon as that ball turns over, these guys are out on the run.
So it'll be Patterson here to throw it in. Patterson getting the start against the U.S. men's national team just a couple months ago at Q2 Stadium in CONCACAF Nations League play. Got 2 starts as well in World Cup qualifying as this one comes in, and Apodaca, his second goal of the game, his 4th of the season. And as we said, it felt like this was going to be a big one.
That is a massive goal for Conor Casey's side. Apodaca, role reversal with Williams there, who makes his way down the left side of the field and fires a ball beautifully across the box, finding Apodaca, who beats De Leon to the spot and just guides it in. It almost looked like it came off his knee. I think it might have. Anyway, they'll never know at the end of the year on that stat sheet. It's a goal nonetheless. 2 in the game for Apodaca, a man on fire.
Connor Lade-esque there. All goals count as long as you get them in the back of the net. It's the 3rd assist of the season for Augie Williams. So 13 goals and 3 assists, and a huge one for the Charleston Battery. As we said, that final finishing blow had been one of the big issues for Charleston this season, leaving teams around. And a big goal there to make it 3-0. And Dom now pushing forward for New York Red Bulls too. It does open things up to the reality that you just got to throw numbers forward now and try and score some goals. So I think for all of us watching, definitely guarantees some entertainment.
It'll be interesting to see how New York.
Sorry.
There's a good opportunity there from Zach Ryan trying to find Adebayo Smith. It's going to be a good opportunity for both sides. New York, obviously, they have no choice but to fight and claw their way back into this match. And Conor Casey's side, I'm sure they're going to continue to be aggressive because they look so comfortable in the early goings of this second half. But you also, it's got to be a huge emphasis on keeping a clean sheet here for this defense.
Adebayo Smith puts the cross in, headed away by Hogan. Williams turns to go upfield, and battling it away. The 2 West African natives, Augie Williams out of Sierra Leone. Hasn't appeared yet for Sierra Leone, but was on the bench for the entirety of the 2021 AFCON for them, of course, led by Kai Kamara in that tournament. He's played his whole pro career here in the U.S., originally with the Timbers too, then with the Galaxy too, last year on loan with San Diego after 7 bench appearances for the LA Galaxy, 6 goals in 13 appearances, 10 starts for San Diego, and now 13 goals and 3 assists here this year. So when you talk about building blocks for 2023 for Conor Casey, you definitely start up top with Augie Williams.
And a player that I'm sure he just has a field day working with as a forward himself who knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. It's got to be so fun and gratifying for a coach to be able to mold a young player like that.
Adebayo Smith slips in field. Over to Wiki Carmona. Carmona lines up the shot, and he pulls it wide.
It's a good spot there from Carmona, who's moved to more interior role since Caden Clark has left this match, and that's a spot he can be so dangerous. We've seen him score plenty of goals from that range, but it's just about hitting the target at this point in the match. I think you have to make each moment count if you want to find any way back into this match.
Mullings all the way back to Nico Politis, who you have to say has had a good game for someone who's given up 3 goals. Obviously the penalty kick, not really an expectation to make a save there, but he's made some big saves on one-on-ones, including the one against DZ Harmon, which at the time kept it in as a 1-0 deficit.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fair score line to judge off Nico Politis' performance. Obviously Apodaca's his first goal. I don't think there's many keepers that are going to save that, as he's just neatly put it inside the far post.
Serwada somehow gets it wide to Mullings. Now to Adebayo Smith. An active opening to this second half for Jordan Adebayo Smith. Now Castellano to his right foot. It's through ball poked away by Patterson.
Patterson using those long legs and big frame to cover the gaps.
Castellano to Ryan. Ryan heads it back. No one there to take it, and Hogan will wait for his goalkeeper. And Apodaca down on the other end of the field.
I love that play from Zach Ryan, actually. Knows he's not going to be able to get that ball on frame, trying to head it across the box. But I think that's just a product of being down a man, not being able to get those numbers in the box, dropped down by the penalty mark. No other New York Red Bull 2 player in sight.
So Apodaca down now, being looked at. The Upland, California native, drafted originally by the Philadelphia Union, played a year with Bethlehem Steel before going out west, found his feet professionally with Reno over the course of 2 years before they closed ranks. He's on the books at El Paso last year, but played the bulk of his time with Orange County SC, where he won a USL Championship, of course. No starts, but 15 appearances, and now coming out to Charleston. Charleston, an eclectic coaching staff. We've talked about Chris Duval, of course, originally from Georgia, played across Major League Soccer. Dennis Sanchez, the other assistant coach, former Columbus Academy director, and then Sacramento Republic. So a couple coaches from across the country with different talent pools that they're connected to, as it looks like John Murphy will be coming on. And you talked about that stretch run in MLS for New York Red Bulls. Feels like taking Steven Serwada off a little early here could have more to do with that than this game.
Yeah, I think that's a product of being down a man and down 3-0. I think it's trying to keep his legs intact. Obviously, De Leon, same thing. Conte coming in. And Apodaca looks like he will be leaving the match here as well.
From De Leon for Lamine Conte. The one thing De Leon has struggled with is covering ground by himself, and down a man, down 3 goals as New York presses. Conte will be a little bit more comfortable. You have to think in those spots. Alex Dexter will be the one to come on for this this Charleston Battery side. Dexter, originally born in Brooklyn, New York. Grew up in Germany before returning to the U.S. for college soccer. Did spend 2 years with the Long Island Rough Riders, who made it to the USL 2 Championship game this year before falling in the final out in California. So congrats to the Long Island Rough Riders, my original soccer team.
There you go.
That's where you had to go see Chris Armas in the 90s.
There you go. A lot of incredible players.
Tony Miola as well.
Some rich history for the Long Island Rough Riders.
Murphy draws the foul there. So it'll be a free kick coming for the New York Red Bulls too. All 3 lower division titles had a New York, New Jersey team in it. FC Motown won a title here at MSU Soccer Park this weekend. As I said, Long Island Rough Riders. This one's clipped over the top, and Dom heads it down. The shot! And the offside flag is up.
That's a huge, huge goal for New York that is going to be agonizing for them that it won't count. And Dom, looks like he'll be offsides initially on this play, but does so well to get up, head it back across, and look at this finish by Jordan Adebayo-Smith, taking it off the half volley.
Adebayo-Smith, he started the year as the center forward on the team, has been pushed out wide now. Doesn't get as many chances on goal. And as you said, handled that one well, but won't be able to keep the reward. As Conte does his first bit of defending. Carmona in a gap here, over the top for Ryan, and the offside flag goes up.
It's a good look there from Zach Ryan. His touch takes him away. Clear offside, but getting back to Adebayo-Smith, I'd love to see him demand more balls in behind. He's got incredible pace. Not many players on the field can keep up with him. And I'd love to see him just make those runs and force his teammates to find him in those spots where he is most dangerous. I think there's been a little bit too much play underneath for him. I think it's great when he gets that ball, is able to turn and run at guys, but I think there needs to be a little bit more variance in those positionings.
He also seems as a center forward, after he beats a defender, he likes to reset himself.
Right.
Because he's setting up for a shot, except he's not in a shooting spot, and he allows defenders to recover. When we see him for DZ Hartman, when he's got no Fourroux off center, that's when he goes after him.
Right.
It was a beautiful ball over the top, by the way, from Wiki Carmona for Ryan on that offside call. Good shape to it, but just an inch offside as Mullings now will have to do a lot of work to get to this one. Patterson takes the nudge, and he goes down.
Things just haven't totally clicked for New York in the final third. It seems when they get in these positionings, it's been the weight of the pass hasn't been quite right. Not finding guys, just can't quite combine with each other. They're getting to the spots. Just the finishing product hasn't been there.
Dexter with the long switch to Harmon. Harmon slips it through. The save from Nico Politis.
What a huge save by Nico Politis there. Bigot finds a way through. Well-timed run. Shoots and Nico Politis gets a big save.
So we've got a corner kick coming here. Robbie Crawford will take it. Everyone back to defend this one for New York Red Bulls too. Crawford swings it in. Endom with the first touch. Patterson trying to get the shot away. Endom makes the tackle. Now a chance to run for Adebayo-Smith. He's got Fourroux to his right. He's got Ryan to his left. He goes to Zach Ryan. Ryan comes in field. Back to Murphy. Murphy with the shot, and it'll roll wide.
Yeah, that option there. Cut back a little bit off the play. I think it's Red Bull just trying so hard to get a clear-cut opportunity here. Against credit to Charleston, who has been very solid defensively. Anytime they've gotten to the final third, they've delayed, waited for more of their players to get back. And yet another opportunity squandered there for New York.
We saw the counterattack in the first half from Serwada and Adebayo-Smith. A little bit more quality on that one. This time it felt like Adebayo-Smith sort of wanted to get rid of it sooner than he had to.
Yeah, I think it's you start to put pressure on yourself when you go longer and longer in a match and aren't getting these clear-cut opportunities. I think that was a product of that. And you're just trying to force things when at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to keep going the way you were at it, and maybe it's going to click eventually. But I think for New York, they can't get discouraged here. They're clearly getting chances, and they know how to fight and claw back into matches.
Adebayo-Smith now playing right off the shoulder of Ryan. And they were just an inch away from linking up there.
It almost seems like they're gaining slowly, getting more and more momentum in this match. I'm sure for Conor Casey, he's going to be curious on how he can make his team.
Carmona over the top. Murphy heads it down. I think he was between laying it off and putting it on goal.
Yeah, it was a beautiful ball in from Carmona. I'd love to see Murphy maybe take that one off the chest if he can. Carmona lifts his head up. A great run from Murphy. Yeah, it's a little bit behind him. I think he's trying to get that on frame.
Ball over the top. It does take a touch off of Dexter that allows Mullings to recover. Preston Kilwine, Andrew Booth, Kyle Holcomb, and Mauro Cicero are the outfield substitute options for Conor Casey. You have to think maybe in that midfield, a change coming. Carmona's finding a ton of success right now in that central space. Ryan will slow up, not extend the pressure too far. Big ball from Hogan finds Williams. Down for Piggott. Conte's the first one to it. Carmona now sneaking in front of the defender. Wiki Carmona through ball for Adebayo Smith. One-on-one with Crawford. Crawford sitting on that yellow card. Adebayo Smith's cross. Ryan brings it down, defended away, and closed by Fourroux.
Wow. A great ball into Zach Ryan. I think he had to take that down, or he had to take that first time with his head, trying to beat Asensio off the chest, and Asensio does so well to just put his body between the ball and him and give Fourroux a time to get that ball.
Mullings gets a touch to it that was crucial. Murphy now back to his goalkeeper. Nico Politis into the space. Ryan will save it for Murphy. Castellano. His touch just a little too long. We've seen him now for about a week, 3 games converted to that deeper spot. What do you make of his prospects there versus as a 10 or a winger like we saw him earlier this year?
Yeah, for me, I think he still probably projects as a player that's going to be higher up the field. I think if you pair him next to a guy like, I thought when he played next to Daniel Edelman, it takes a little bit of defensive pressure off of him. I think with him and Steven Serwada, I think maybe there's a better combination there, and he probably, if he's playing next to a player like that, they'd probably like to see him higher up field and pair another more defensive-minded player next to him. But when he does get on the ball, his range of passing is incredible, and he really can put his teammates ahead of him in good positions. And I'd honestly love to see him get on the ball and, you know, try a couple cracks on net from deep and see what he's got there. Obviously, give us a couple Rafa bombs.
Castellano now on the ball. Wide for Wiki Carmona, someone who's never scared to take a shot. His through ball cleared by Hogan. What a game for Pat Hogan in this one. He has made all the big tackles. He's kept the back line organized. Charlotte, North Carolina native. He signed midway through the season last year, ended up starting 20 games. He's been hurt for most of this year. And you could see maybe how different Charleston's season would be if he had been available more often. That's it for Jordan Adebayo Smith. So Adebayo Smith, a bright game, but again, that last finishing quality not there for the young English-American. And Jonathan Felipe will look to bring a little bit more energy here as the next substitute in this second half. Castellano out wide. A Fourroux shot, and it's just wide.
Oh, Curtis Fourroux so close to getting a goal there. Down a man, look at this ball in, takes a beautiful touch. And just trying to guide that ball at the back post, just off the post. And out for a goal kick. Agonizing for Curtis Fourroux not to find the score sheet there.
And Murphy's ball slips by Ryan. An active second half here for New York Red Bulls 2, trying to break through. And don't miss a minute of the action in 2022. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home to USL, MLS La Liga, Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up to ESPNplus.com. Of course, it was home to the US Open Cup And it will be home to the final on September 7th. I believe John Champion and Taylor Twellman will be on the call for that one. First U.S. Open Cup final in a little while as the tackle made by Fourroux, and it's a clean tackle on Dexter.
Curtis Fourroux making his impact known on both sides of the pitch with a massive, massive tackle on Flanagan there to keep it only a 3-goal game.
New York Red Bulls too, down a man after the Caden Clark red card in the 45th minute to close out the first half. They've hung around, put on some pressure. But right now, the Augie Williams penalty kick in the first half standing up as the winner. Apodaca off with an injury here, but he has 2 goals to stretch the lead. As Harmon's going to get called for the foul. DZ Harmon, one of 4 Charleston players sitting on a yellow card.
DZ Harmon.
Ball through here for Ryan. He got caught up in his feet. Now out wide for Felipe, his first touch. Johnny Felipe pulls it back. Ryan gets it to Carmona. Carmona trying to find a way to get back to his left foot.
Yeah, I'd love to see Carmona hit that first time with the right.
I don't think we've ever seen him take a shot with his right.
Yeah, you can see Zach Ryan slapping at his shin guards, knowing that that touch just took him the wrong direction. If he was able to take that towards net, could have been different opportunity.
Augie Williams on the run. Nico Politis gets there. He takes a touch, now under pressure. And a good left-footed ball from him over the top in the end.
A great left-footed touch, almost disastrous there. As Hassan Ndam is screaming for him to come out for that ball, and takes it a little bit of an awkward touch to the left, and Williams smelled blood in the water, trying to get on the end of that and make it 4.
Ndam into the feet of Ryan, out for Murphy. Murphy has it taken away by Patterson. Ndam with the interception. And now New York Red Bulls 2 resets the attack. Ryan over to Felipe. Felipe back in field to Murphy. Back to Felipe. Again to Murphy. And who else but Pat Hogan standing up, making a big tackle and draws the foul.
Pat Hogan's been absolutely fantastic anchoring this back line here tonight as looks like he's going to stretch out the calves. But this entire back line has been so solid against whatever New York is throwing against them, and they're going to have to continue to do so as New York looks like they're finding life in the last half hour of this match. It almost looks like they need a little bit of something to go. Yeah, you need something to go against you for them to wake up a little bit, and you'd like to see that from the start of the match. I thought that's what we were going to see for the majority of that first half, the way they started the game, but it's like a little bit of a roller coaster effect. You're not sure what's going to come after that.
And for Charleston, as the trainer gives the signal for a substitute to the sideline, you'd have to think it'll be Preston Kilwine here, the center back. That'll be a big loss. As we said, Hogan only available for 6 games now this season. Started 20 last year coming out of UNC Charlotte. He was a MAC Herman watch list player. If you take a look there at the former New York Red Bull 2 player, Preston Kilwine coming on, and Chris Duval, former teammates of Ibrahim Sakaya and yourself. 3 years with the New York Red Bulls.
My man Duvie. I love being teammates with Chris Duval. One of the nicest people you'll ever meet in the soccer world. I'm happy to see him land on his feet here in Conor Casey's coaching staff. I know it's been a little different transition for Chris Duval, transitioning out of the playing career, but I'm happy to see him doing what he still loves, working with players. And there's worse places to end up than living in Charleston. I can tell you that.
Food is excellent.
Absolutely.
In Charleston. You always have a bad experience. It always rains and you get a red card or something like that. Every time we bring up the Charleston Battery, you're always whining.
No, never. I love Charleston. That was where I had a flu game down there. You know, me and Ruben Bover both had got sick together. They threw us in a room, and we had a flu game.
So it'll be Kilwine to come on as well as Andrew Booth. So Kilwine will go to center back Preston Kilwine. He had started 21 games this year before this game. Pittsburgh last year, and for the 2 years before that, he started a combined 27 games and 36 appearances for New York Red Bulls too. Kilwine back on his old stomping grounds as this one holds up for Williams. Endom makes the tackle. Flanagan's touch a little long. He pulls it back, and Endom didn't trust that one and cleared it away.
Big stop there by Endom. Nico Politis coming out behind him, but the center back proves immense there to clear the danger out for a corner kick.
Corner kick coming now for the Battery. It'll be Crawford to take it. His dangerous ball headed away by Conte. And now Crawford, he bounces by the first defender, clipped in, and Nico Politis will take it. Giannis Nico Politis taking over as the starter for AJ Marcucci. Marcucci out with the shoulder injury, getting set to return, has started doing a little bit of work. You know, he's ready to get back out there on the field.
Absolutely, he's been working really hard, and now he's anxious to get back out there, do what he loves, and it's always agonizing for players like that who want to be out there on the field to sit out with injury. But we're hoping to see him soon.
Mullings curls it in, headed up in the air, and it'll be a goal kick.
New York just knocking on the door there. Avante Mullings whipping in a dangerous ball. Jonathan Felipe throwing his whole body at it, just can't guide it on frame with the diving header. But like we said, New York, they're never going to quit on a match.
And for anyone who joined us late here, Caden Clark, a red card in the 45th minute. Last game, just 3 days ago, New York Red Bulls 2. Down a man, down a goal, came back to win 2-1 in the 90th minute winner for Avante Mullings. So, as we said, I think Charleston understands this is a New York Red Bull 2 team that's not just going to go away easily. And they've thrown everything forward here in this second half. Still no breakthrough. As Kilwine gets a couple touches, playing at the middle of the back three. Patterson smoothly by the first defender. Ball over the top. Dexter's onside, and he's running into space. He's got Flanagan and Williams. Pulls back, and the save by Nico Politis.
Huge save there by Nico Politis. I thought that play was going to be a little bit more difficult when Dexter took that second touch. I thought initially he should have played Flanagan through a little bit earlier, but he found a way, kept it taking another touch, getting deeper and deeper into their half, and still found him. And Nico Politis making a massive save.
Crawford, ball over the top. The race is on. Harmon once again. DZ Harmon's through, and again it's Nico Politis.
Nico Politis is standing on his head right now. We talked about it earlier, 3-0. Not indicative of his performance here tonight. And Charleston is just getting behind this New York backline with ease. If DZ Harmon just lays this across, he's got 3 unmarked players there. But you got to take that one yourself. You got to take that one yourself. He's worked so hard here tonight not to get a goal himself.
Fullbacks don't pass when they're in the box. DZ Harmon, he has been incredible in this game from the right wing back spot. Drew the penalty kick for the opening goal as Crawford puts it in. It bounces and headed out by Murphy. That one's clipped in and it'll be taken by Nico Politis. Giannis Nico Politis, one of the most famous last names in goalkeeping. His father backstopped the Greek national team to their dramatic 2004 European Championship in Portugal. Over 100 caps for the Greek national team. Champions League with Olympiacos year in and year out as this one slips through. And Nico Politis choosing to come to the U.S. 4 years at Georgetown, a national title. And now in his first year at the pro level, showing that New York Red Bulls, the goalkeeping position is deep. Carlos Coronel, Ryan Mira, and you add in Marcucci and Nico Politis to that pool. It's an exciting crop of players.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, you can't start multiple goalkeepers.
I know. There's so many great goalkeepers coming through. As New York looks for any sort of last couple chances within this match. A lot of time still to go, and they've been knocking on the door, but so has Charleston.
Carmona now into the attack, surrounded by white shirts. Crawford comes away with it now to Booth, who's playing centrally in place of Pigot. Andrew Booth, the Jamaican Youth International. Asensio closed down by Mullings. Murphy now for Castellano. Good work defensively there from Dexter. And the ball over the top to Flanagan. Oh, Fourroux chasing. Flanagan in on goal, and his touch is too long.
Charleston's, I think they're going to be a little baffled how they're not up at least 2 more goals in this match. Nico Politis has been superb, as we said, but they've had breakaway after breakaway and haven't been able to find the recipe to get the 4th goal in this match. Conor Casey still has his hands on his head.
Ibrahim Sakaya does have one more window to use on a substitute, and it's the second time Fourroux's been beating a foot race over the top, which hasn't happened almost all season. As Felipe's into space. Murphy back to Felipe, intercepted and cleared away. Beautifully done there. And Murphy will go all the way back to Nico Politis.
I think the bigger concerning thing for me is when these initial chances do and one player gets beaten, there's no other recovering help here for New York. It looks like this back line is gassed here. Hassan and Dom Conte. If you're these players one-on-one versus Nico Politis and you look up, there's no other defender in sight, and you have acres of room with teammates available. It's almost like a training session.
Mullings trying to get on the end of that one. The collision in the air. Claims for a penalty kick. And there will be the whistle now as the ball rolls out. And Mullings struck through that volley, and Asensio put his foot in there to make the defensive play. And they are both down now in pain.
Yeah, you can see on the replay, Felipe looking up. Clearance is deflected. Navante Mullings, oof.
And Asensio gets the ball first.
He does win the ball, and obviously the cleats are showing in Avante Mullings. I think it's unfortunate just striking through the bottom of the boot of Asensio, who, you're right, did win the ball.
Fans of the New York Red Bulls 2 return home on Wednesday, August 31st to take on Hartford Athletic at 7 p.m. For tickets or more info, visit NewYorkRedBulls.com/2. It is the 3rd to last home game of the season for New York Red Bulls 2, and most likely in the USL Championship, as it's been announced that they will be heading to MLS Next Pro next season. Still not all the details out there, but there will be a New York Red Bull 2 side in MLS Next Pro, that we can guarantee you. As Mullings now still being looked at. Asensio on loan from Austin FC. And it looks like that'll be it for Charlie Asensio. Hit the crossbar in the opening 10 minutes. And for the most part, did his work defensively as he allowed DZ Harmon the ability to attack. Holcomb not a defender by trade. The Wake Forest grad. We'll have to see where he comes on. It looks like Eric Ruiz will check in as well. You assume Ruiz would be a like-for-like change with Ovante Mullings, as he has to be helped off the field. So we We hope the best for Mullings. His first year out of Florida Gulf Coast University. This was his 22nd start. A goal and 3 assists, which is tied for team lead.
Yeah, you hope the best for Avante Mullings, who is in some serious pain walking off the field here.
And you hope it's just that initial pain off the impact. 28 goals, 7 assists in his college soccer career. So now Eric Ruiz will come on. Eric Ruiz, captain of the New York Red Bulls U17 team for much of this season, getting the opportunity late on here to become a starter or a player for New York Red Bulls too. He started out training with the side over the course of this summer. As Ryan trips up and sees that one go out. Mullings being helped back to the locker room. This is Eric Ruiz's second appearance here in USL Championship action.
He's been such a great impact sub when he's been called upon for New York Red Bull 2. We talk to academy coaches and Sean McCafferty, the academy director, and they just gush about his heart. And if they had 11 Eric Ruizes, that their teams would be in good spots the way he gives everything to his team. And we've seen that every time he steps on the field for Red Bull 2.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who maybe wasn't ID'd early on to play with the pro side, but earned his opportunity into training, and then from there earned his opportunity onto the field. Normally a center mid, as Booth breaks into the box here and blasts his shot over the top. But Ruiz, we've seen him play left back, wing back, and he'll play right back here in place of Mullings. Mullings, our star player coming into this one, will be a massive loss for New York Red Bulls too. In this game, in whatever time he might have to miss. Things starting to break down for New York Red Bulls too. Holcomb in an offside position.
Holcomb trying to find a spot there. Lamine Conte was dragging a little bit behind the line, and Holcomb was trying to play off his shoulder there. Just a couple steps offside though.
Ryan can't get by Dexter. Dexter looking for the early ball to Williams. End on with the first touch. Conte now stepping in. And Ruiz can't get that one under control. Eric Ruiz, part of the future for New York Red Bulls too. And the last game he came in, he played the entire time alongside Nate Worth. It was a 16 and 15-year-old as the two center mids for New York Red Bulls too in that game.
That was something special, wasn't it?
And they held their own.
They did.
Against one of the top 4 teams in the Eastern Conference in Memphis 901. This one rolled over to Ryan. Ryan with the left-footed shot. It's deflected wide. Zach Ryan still looking for his opening goal of the season.
Zach Ryan trying everything to hit the back of the net there. Sometimes it's just going to come when you least expect it, and he's worked really hard to put himself in good positions here tonight as this corner is taken short.
Felipe now back to Wiki Carmona. Headed away by Dexter. Zach Ryan, 31 goals. A Mac Herman semifinalist in college at Stanford. Yet to score here in the 2022 season in USL Championship play, 6 appearances in MLS as well. He would love to get one no matter what the score line is. Flanagan under pressure, and the foul will go against Murphy. Flanagan down. For him, it's a bright debut. FC Cincinnati 2 player coming over Charleston Battery. This his first ever game. Didn't score, or has not so far, but he was a huge part of the early attack in that first half that led to the opening goal off the penalty kick.
Yeah, Flanagan's been so active in this match. He's really fit in very nicely with the front three here. His pace, his movement. He's been so active. Unlucky probably not to be on the score sheet as he was in 1v1 with Nico Politis and just took a heavy touch right into Nico Politis' arms, but he's done a lot of dirty work here as well defensively for his team here tonight.
Carmona out wide. Felipe into the box. Felipe gets it over. Ruiz with the shot, and it's over the crossbar.
Eric Ruiz, entire family, it looks is right in front of us. Wishing him well, and nearly gets on the score sheet there, puts himself in a really good spot at the top of the box, almost where Avante Mulling scored last game out. Takes it with his left foot and just pushes it over the bar.
Ball over the top. Endom surrounded by attackers. Holcomb heads it over. Conte recovers and then passes it away and out for a corner kick as we approach the final minute of regulation. The referee just ran over to the fourth official to relay the time. So we enter stoppage time now. It'll be Crawford to take it. Crawford, he's played well on the field as we have a minimum of 6 minutes of stoppage time. Maybe his most influential moment, though, winding up Caden Clark. Clark lashing out at the end of the first half, which led to a red card for him as Flanagan trying to work some space. He's not able to. Ryan now can't link up with Felipe. It was a penalty kick goal drawn by DZ Harmon, dispatched by Augie Williams in the 33rd minute, that right now stands as the winner. 2 goals after that, one 3 minutes later, one in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. New York Red Bulls, too, they've had their chances. They've had their looks for the second straight game, down a man. They've not given up. This, for New York Red Bulls, too, by the way, the 9th red card of the season. The USL Championship record is owned by 2 teams, the Dayton Dutch Lions. It's a legendary,
yeah, I love that.
lower division name in 2011, and Orlando City B in 2015. They both had 10. New York Red Bulls, too, in August, they're 1 red card off of tying the record, 2 off from setting it. Long chip as Carmona thought he had the goalkeeper off his line.
Yeah, I think you set out every year wanting to have a legendary year, but that's not quite your
Not
thinking.
at all.
That's not quite what you're thinking when you talk about legendary.
And remember, it started quickly. It was Chris Cragwell in the first home game. Picked up a yellow card against Loudoun in a game they led 1-0. But were not able to hang on for the victory. And some have been debatable. Michael Knapp last week. Hassan Endom the week before. Endom's a soft second yellow, or at least a soft first yellow, picking up 2 yellow cards. But they all count. They've all changed games for New York Red Bulls, too. Kilwine bouncing back outside. Booth now charging through the middle. Holcomb, the substitute, brings it down. Holds off Ruiz, but turns it over. Is there another goal here in stoppage time? Either a 4th for Charleston or a 1st for New York Red Bulls, too. Charleston desperate more for the shutout than a goal here to break a run of what has been 11 goals against in the last 3 games. The through ball, Carmona gets by a falling defender. Carmona cuts back, and Kilwine clears it out for the corner kick.
New York trying anything and everything to try to set up an opportunity for them to get a goal here tonight. Throwing numbers forward, Wiki Carmona just getting that ball caught under him a little bit, trying to set up a teammate. And they'll get a corner kick here. 3 minutes left in stoppage time.
John Murphy to take. He goes short to Ofori. Ofori now curls it in. Headed on. Ryan's header was blocked. The shot from Conte is blocked. Kilwine and Patterson throwing their body in front to try and hold the shutout.
Kilwine with a massive block on Lamine Conte there against his former side. He wants to keep a shutout desperately.
rolls out. Felipe still battling in the box. Surrounded, excuse me, that's Ryan surrounded by white jerseys. Now Felipe on the ball. Harmon working defensively. Felipe gets by him somehow. His cross through the box, and it's too long for Ruiz.
What a ball there from Felipe, who's been so active since he's come onto this match. Zach Ryan gets past him. This ball had eyes just seeing itself right across the 6. Zach Ryan can't find it. And Eric Ruiz at the back post. Just a ball begging to be put in the back of the net there.
And in the second half of this game, down a man, New York Red Bulls too have extended their possession lead in this game. And they have outshot Charleston since they went down a man. Of course, they're the ones down a goal, but none of the shots have been on goal. And that has been the problem for New York Red Bulls too. I'd argue as good a game we've seen Wiki Carmona play this year. There are games where he hasn't been able to play the 90. He's been active down a man.
Agreed. I think he's been fantastic here setting up plays. I think it's, you know, at times can be a little cleaner, making me maybe make some decisions a little bit quicker, but this is, I agree, this is probably the best we've seen him all year.
It'll be Murphy to take this set piece. In the dying moments of this one, 33rd minute penalty kick for Augie Williams, his 13th of the season. Standing up right now is the winner. 45 minutes of play, up a man for Charleston. Williams floats it to the far side. Endom heads it in. And off his line to take it one last time probably is Fourroux. The French goalkeeper gets his hands on it. He will roll it out to arguably the man of the match in DZ Harmon. The right wing back drew the penalty kick to start the scoring and has been electric in this game. Conte up to Murphy. Murphy striding through midfield up to Ryan. Ryan pulls it back. Ryan with space. Zach Ryan's opening goal of the season on the dying kick of this one. And he ruins Charleston's shutout.
Zach Ryan finally, after all that hard work, chance after chance. I know it's not going to be any consolation that he's probably going to be that thrilled about being down 3-1, but what a moment for the Chatham, New Jersey native. Could have played Curtis O'Fourroux, who was wide open, but chose to take him himself, tucks it inside the back of the net, and like you said, at the dying minutes, breaks up Charleston Battery's first shutout since June 11th, where they shut out Pittsburgh Riverhounds 3-0.
So Zach Ryan takes a little bit of the luster off it, but not all of it, as the Charleston Battery get their first win in 5 games. And Chris Duval back in his old haunts, able to get 3 points for his side. And Conor Casey will be smiling, as will that man, Augie Williams. His 13th goal of the year brings him into a 3-way tie for 3rd in the Golden Boot race. And what a performance from Apodaca as well. 2 goals for him in the 36th and 51st minutes to seal the victory. Congratulations to Zach Ryan for his first professional soccer goal. So a dramatic one here, a red card, a penalty kick, and 4 goals. We'll be back in just a moment with all your post-game coverage here on ESPN+.
Add drama to every drive. The exhilarating Audi SUV family.
I'll give you something, make you shake it.
Raffanello with the shot now, and New York Red Bulls 2 take the lead. Forbes one-on-one with Marcucci, and it's saved again.
This guy has ice in his veins.
And it's in. What a finish. The teenager in front of his academy teammates. David Goss and Connor Lade with you from MSU Soccer Park. Post-game coverage, an electric match, Connor. 4 goals, a red card, and just end-to-end action throughout.
Yeah, and I think this scoreline could have been much different. I think we just talked about it, possibly 7-4 in Charleston's favor, but electric is an understatement there. End-to-end action from the opening whistle. And credit to Charleston with a fantastic game plan from Conor Casey here tonight, coming in, making life difficult for New York as they get a massive road win.
DZ Harmon creating the penalty kick. He was electric in the first half. And who else but Augie Williams to dispatch it for his 13th goal of the season. Apodaca with a brace in this one to add to the lead. But this was after Charleston had hit the crossbar and hit the post. It was a deserved lead. The red card 12 minutes later to Caden Clark somewhat sealed it, and then the opening goal 5 minutes in to the second half probably put it to bed for the Charleston Battery, but both teams pushed. New York Red Bulls 16 shots in total. They outpossessed Charleston down a man, but they did not have that final touch quality in them.
Yeah, they like we said, they were never going to quit on this match. A tough pill to swallow, going down early again with another red card. They need to get that under control if they want to be in any match this year. That's going to be a big talking point in the locker room. But I think a lot of positives to take the way they approached the match, being a man down, getting a lot of chances, and they kept themselves competitive in this one.
It was a fun one for us. We hope you enjoyed starting your weekend with some incredible soccer action. For myself, David Goss, my partner Connor Lade, and everyone here as a part of our production. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.